Sorry, guys, I got kicked out. Hello, I'm back. Anyway, that is not what I wanted to talk about. What I wanted to talk about was fuck off October. I don't really want to talk about it. It's been the crappiest month of my life, but also not my life, that's wrong, but it's been a horrible month being that I have had. I must stop saying the word, or what is it that I keep saying? And it's making rattled. I keep saying the word rattled. They keep rattling me. And obviously that's not a good thing to say to people who work in child protection because they would automatically assume drugs. When I say people are rattling me, I mean that people are doing things that they know are crossing my boundaries and my safe zones. I find living in social housing very, 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 very different because people treat you different. Being on benefits, people treat you different. I'm talking about people who don't live in them worlds. Is it freezing on your side? I've been cut off once. Have you got sound though? Am I freezing like because I'm not doing anything on this side. It's all clear this side. But what I want to do say is thank you to the people who have Aaron and Faith. You have just done me the biggest favour that I have been waiting for since I first ever left London without going back to court. And the problem with all forms of criminal action is they have to be taken in a time frame of when they happened. Take DV for an example. It used to be something like you could only bring a case against somebody if it had happened in the last few days. Now they changed, well, then it was a bit extended, and then they changed it to 2 years. So if it was in 2 years, you can bring a case against them. The same for rape. Now, with things like this, it's very, very, very difficult to get in court for something that happened a long time ago. Aaron and Faith is considered a long time ago. It's 9 years. It's 9 years. And for 7 of that, I've been here in Portsmouth trying to get them to accept this as criminal, what's going on, and getting people to try to understand that I have been living with subluxations and dislocations I can't get back in myself, okay? People have been laughing at me going, there's no way she can have these things because, one, she's standing up. If she has these things, there is no way she would be standing up. I have been trying to show people repeatedly that I have been able to push my pelvis out, which I can't do anymore. I have no evidence to say that I can do this unless this happens again. Now, being I've been through childbirth, this is something that should have been automatically assumed at the chance that I could have completely subluxed my pelvis, potentially even dislocated it to bring my children into the world, because my ligaments and pelvis don't work in the same way as a normal person. In order to bring a child out of my womb, my pelvis would completely break, dislocate, sublux to make it a lot easier. Then it has to be put back. For me, for my life, when I have a subluxation, such as, listen, so for those that don't get it, yeah, if it's not something I can do myself for me or my children, my automatic assumption, because it's pointless trying to go to your GP, is you go to accident and emergency. When I have gone to accident and emergency, because there has been either a bruise, sprain, break, subluxation, dislocation, then I am referred to child protection immediately, okay? It should say on the system that we have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, of which at A&E it does. It also notifies that we are Asperger's, autistic to what is known. That is only as good as somebody's understanding. That is only as good as somebody who understands what the fuck that means. That is only good as somebody who has educated themselves, not just reading it and going, oh, okay, so there's so many different classifications and this does this and this does this. They have to actually understand how it affects you. The point of PIP, personal independent payments, or what used to be known as disability living allowance, they didn't give a shit what your condition was. They wanted to know how it affected your daily life. Now, thanks to the department working pension who could be bothered to pick up the phone to my doctors, write the letters that they do, they have my diagnosis. I'm now officially on sick, and I will be on sick all the way through to the winter. I will be working with the self-employed people, but I will not be preparing until I come into the new financial year. The reason being is my head cannot cope with the way the benefit system works. In one, it used to be you were paid weekly. That means you live weekly. Then it became 2 weekly, fortnightly. That means you live fortnightly. Then it moved to monthly. Then you live monthly. For me, this does not work. This is not in line with my having meetings about what is going to happen to this world planet up until 2050. They're foreseeing ahead. All this live in the now, live in the moment, bollocks, yeah? Absolute bollocks, right? You have to live as if you have a whole life ahead of you, but plan that you might not wake up tomorrow morning. Live as if you have every day of your life and financially plan for that too. Because otherwise you never achieve anything. Yes, we are in a capitalistic world. Not everywhere. Yes, bartering goes on. So when you can barter, when you need to exchange cash, it's the attachment that you have towards it. It's the attachment that you have to money. It's the belief systems that you have for money. And this is what I wanted to take you into November, because come Christmas, they're going to have you in lack, rushing out, buying all the latest toys, taking away the whole fact of what Christmas is, getting yourself all pissed. Think about Halloween now. Think about all the things that you saw in the shop, all the lead up to all this stuff, all of the dressing up. Everybody's gone out and got absolutely rat-arsed on Saturday night, probably even Friday, woke up with the biggest fucking hangover of their lives, and they've got to go into Movember, whatever it is that they feel like you're doing. And most men will probably use tomorrow as a Movember day because they got out of bed too fucking late, couldn't be arsed, and they've told the boss it's Movember because they didn't have time to have a shit shower and shave because they were too fucking hangover. Most people ain't going to remember October. They probably even couldn't tell you what they did because their brain cells would have been completely KO'd just over the space of one weekend. And most of them will not be set up into November to know what they're even freaking doing at Christmas. And most people won't even think about the winter season because they don't know what this person is doing, that person's doing, or maybe this person, or this conflict with this person. And people don't write Christmas cards anymore, or winter cards, or things like this. So now the debate's coming in Halloween on whether it is really good to actually introduce children to the normality of putting on really scary outfits and having them presented everywhere and coinciding with murder and slashes and all of this stuff for a Scottish tradition that some people use, some people don't. And this stuff does need to be debated and talked about, just as other things, just as whether or not we want to be vaccinated or not. Tomorrow morning, many of you are going to get a choice. Vaccinate your kids or they cannot come to school. Most of you are going to panic and they're going to vaccinate your kids into school because you don't know what to do. You don't know how to protect your children, and you also don't know what to do if you don't send them to school. Are they going to cause me any problems? If any single one of you is unsure on whether your child should have this particular vaccination, I'm not advising anyone to have it or not to have it. I have explained that I'm EDS, and if I was to get sick, then I believe that there is, if I cannot deal with this, I do believe in medical intervention. As you know, I've had that with my pregnancy and things like that. What I don't agree with is mass injecting, because it's the same dose, same quantity, same thing going into every single different person. They're massing it between the ages of 5 to 11, up to 14 and 14 to thing, and then adults. Well, it doesn't work like that. You've got to take into consideration whether somebody's got a heart condition. Do they blood clot? Do they have these things? Does somebody have a previous existing condition? Do they absorb it in the same way? So that is what I have an issue with immediately. I had an issue with this when I first ever got my first children vaccinated, and well, it's not vaccinated, is it? It's called immunisation, yeah? So what you will be told is that on so-and-so date, all children will be vaccinated by a so-and-so date, and all you'll do is you'll get a letter to say that your child has been vaccinated today. If they have any symptoms, blah, 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 please contact us, blah, 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 blah. And you will not even know what day it's going to happen, because even your child is not going to know what day it's going to happen. It will just be a case of it will happen, but you will be given notification that it will be happen by a certain date. If you refuse this vaccination, you will be advised that your child can no longer attend any of the things that they attend. Don't worry. Write to your local authority, deregister your child based on the fact that you're going to home educate them, because they will not be being vaccinated until whatever it is your reasons are and how you're going to do this. Next step, contact home education. They will see you all the way through it, just like they have done with me. And it is literally going to be in these next 2 weeks after school holidays, because they're going to be preparing for winter. They're going to put the biggest fearmonger out in you that in winter they will have to lock you down over Christmas if people are not vaccinated, basically. So you'll rush out to go and get your vaccination in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Also, you can prepare for no lockdown, basically. And then they'll go, well, so-and-so people got vaccinated, so we're not going to get locked down. But they will keep that fear over you, blah, 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 blah. Then they will fearmonger you into Christmas. Christmas is not about presents. It's about being present. It's not even New Year. New Year is spring. Hence why the new financial season starts on the 1st of April, yeah? So, New Year is not the 1st of January. That is, I don't even know what it is, but that's not New Year. The New Year is the first day of spring. So this for me is winter season. I've spoken to my son today. He's given me full permission to go off snowboarding, because this was something that obviously me, Liam, Aaron and Faith were doing. Literally, Daniel was on his way from his dad's, and then we were literally heading into, I don't do anything over the Christmas holidays with my kids, with other people and with my kids. And we were snowboarding. And then all of a sudden, Aaron and Faith were taken. My life tumbled. And I've been planning to go snowboarding ever since. And the boys are, Shiloh especially. And I can see Elijah loving it as well, even if it's just on, other little things that they can do. And not only that, if I go for winter, I want to be in the UK at the moment because I feel safer with everything. But in terms of finding my ideal winter cabin place where I'm going to write my book every bloody winter and tour every summer, and it will be a new book every bloody every summer, then I sort of said to him today, if I do this, then can we have like a time when we're still going to come together at like things? So I got a maybe, which is usually a freaking no, which he does to me. But that's only because, again, people are stuck in jobs, in lives, in systems that they can't come out of. And the good thing about my life is I can. I'm not having any problems with social with that side of it. But November, as I've said, the adopters haven't, and I'm pissed off about this, but I'm also really happy about it. The adopters haven't sent me Aaron and Faith's letter. This is the 1st October I haven't had the letter. If it is not here, and I've sent them an email that if it's not here by 12 o'clock on the 1st, then I will be proceeding immediately into court. and it gives me the road in now. So now I can address it to say that there has been a breach of order, that I haven't received my post-option contact, and I can now open up the can of worms. I sort of don't want it to turn up tomorrow, but I really, 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 really want to know how they're doing. But yeah, so in we go to court. Have a nice night, guys. And whatever you're doing for November, Movember, whatever goes on in November, I can't remember what awarenesses go on, things like that. Just remember that the best awareness is doing what you love, and just sometimes just explaining why you can't do it all the time. And that's the best awareness. You know what I mean? So it's not the ski season for skating, but well done to all the skaters who went to London yesterday. Absolutely epic, brilliant. Keep lighting up and things like that. But for me, it's about the winter season. Summer has definitely gone. So we go indoors now, indoors with the training, indoors with things. I love being out, but my body doesn't love the cold. I've got young kids. I've got a car on the road. And I don't know what I'm doing about Glasgow yet. I should be up there really. But Dean's been, if I get arrested up there with the boys, which I get, but it would be very, very highly unlikely. But again, I still don't know where the pinholes came from with everything else that's gone on. So until I know properly, then that circle is the thing. So anyway, let me give you a quick. So now I've got, obviously, my kids ironing to bloody do. So, but yeah, so literally all of this. Free cycle, found. My Bible, of course. Free cycle, found. Free cycle, found. Free cycle, changed all of this, which was found. Free cycle, the bed, found. Free cycle, and then even the bedding was all found.